Hello and welcome to another episode of Pasta Chat. It's been a very long time, but backed by popular demand. When I say popular demand, I mean Saeed Ashgari asking me multiple times, and maybe Emily and Harry as well asking me. But for those of you who haven't, or maybe are new followers, or new people in my life who haven't seen this before, basically it's just me talking while I make my meal prep pasta. Thus, it's called Pasta Chat. We have got pasta today. Last time I think it was a garlic bread chat. A lot of stuff's happened since the last time. Now, I will say this as well. Whenever I do this, it's always just completely unedited, pretty much off the cuff, not planned anything. I've got to plan the main topic, but other than that, pretty much just what happens. So, it's a lot of stuff's happened. Claire become Masters champ. That was this weekend. So British Masters champ. I was helping Mem in the back room quite a lot. So I got a lot of good experience there. We had Ollie won English age groups, British record in the snatch and the total, so that's awesome. Cummo, British record in the clean and jerk and the total. For the supers in the under 20s. So again, that's crazy. We have Harry got a snatch Welsh record for the snatch. Recently he's been on top form. Loads of people going absolutely crazy. Little Harry as well. Calvin, you got loads of people going absolutely off it. Ryan's doing his fire stuff, but still training and still hitting some stupid numbers. But it's all going pretty well. The big thing I want to talk about was last Monday I got diagnosed with autism, and it's probably something that I didn't see coming, but looking back I can looking in hindsight I can probably think, yeah, that probably does make sense. Autism goes alongside my OCD. So it's kind of like a joint diagnosis. It's two different things, but they often go quite hand in hand. A lot of times people with autism have OCD, as well as many other things, but it explains a lot. I think the reason it was missed as a child, various reasons. One, I guess some people it is just diagnosed late for a lot of people. For me, my Erb's palsy shoulder thing didn't help it, because anything related to do with motor control or kind of feeding as a baby was obviously limited because of that. So it's hard to say kind of what was Erb's palsy, what was autism, etc. So yeah, it's one of those ones, but I wanted to talk more about kind of how I felt after the diagnosis, and the big thing just felt weird. Felt pretty weird after finding out. It was relieving in the sense that I kind of know what's happening. It explains a lot, but it was a bit weird. I left the place where I got diagnosed. It was in service, and I was walking back, and I was like, everything just felt a bit weird. There's no way to describe it really. Like, everything just felt a bit off. Felt very lonely, and kind of, it was a weird, like, lonely and hopeful, and weird, and depressed, I would say, and it was a lot. I guess it's one of those life-changing things. It explains a lot. A lot of the time, a lot of my kind of symptoms of it are linked with the OCD stuff. So, liking order, liking routine, being more than happy doing my own thing. But it is sad that I'm a bit upset that kind of I didn't go for it earlier, because it would have possibly explained a lot of stuff in my, like, let's say, university life, when my life was miserable, and I was having a real tough time. might have knowing that I had autism might have helped a lot. Might have been able to get a bit more support, and but again, I will continue now. My biggest goal in life has always been to just inspire people. So I guess now that it's just it's weird. It's like it's a slightly broader spectrum of people now. Spectrum, excuse the pun. That I can hopefully relate to and inspire. The big thing for me with it is nothing's gonna change, in the sense of nothing's gonna, my personality's not gonna change. My life isn't gonna change dramatically, but knowing that I have this condition means that hopefully I'll be able to. Well, hopefully it just makes me understand myself a little bit more. Hopefully it means other people will be able to understand me a little bit more. I'll be able to get hopefully a bit more specific support for it. But yeah, other than that, it's just one of those ones where it took me by surprise. It made me feel pretty bad. When I was reading the report that they wrote up on me, and the way the autism diagnosis works is someone from your childhood, usually a parent, someone who knows what you were like as a child, obviously not yourself, has to do an interview separate to you, and then you do an interview with someone else separately. And then those two professionals kind of collate ideas and their thoughts and come up with this diagnosis. But it made me very sad reading the report in multiple ways. Just that, I don't know, it's a tough one to say why, but it made me really sad, I think. Maybe I wasn't sad. I was feeling something. I was laid there, and I was reading it, and something felt off, something felt weird. Don't know what it was. But yeah, that's another thing. It kind of brings up the past, I guess that's a good way to put it. And yeah, so I'm hoping that it will help me in my coaching as well, in the sense that I know maybe my limits a bit more. I know that it's usually why I've been so good, I think, when I've ever had one goal. If I had one goal, I can just go absolutely ham and attack it. If I have even 2 or 3, the effort just gets spread, and that stresses me out a bit more. So currently my training is just geared towards this, this 200 kilo jerk that people probably know about. There's money on the line, there's pride on the line, and I feel like I'm happier doing that than having, I want to snatch 150, I want to clean and jerk 180, I want to etc. Just having this one thing is a bit more. Now that doesn't mean that's going to be the same forever, but currently that's working pretty well. It just means that I see the other goals as secondary goals, so a 240 push press, 240 front squat, and a 150 push press, let's say. They're not the main goal, but they will help me get to the big goal. So, and kind of having that one goal and breaking them down seems to help me quite a lot. I don't know if that is explained by the autism. I don't know if that makes it easier, but some of the social difficulties I've had, obviously this would explain that a little bit better. So that's useful. The people in the past who have not been able to, I guess, love me or kind of cope with me, that probably explains it. Obviously there's always 2 or 3, there's 2 people in the wrong kind of thing, but if it's ever in a relationship, not just a sexual relationship, but friendships and coaching breakdowns, and it's usually a couple of, maybe you and someone else, or depending on the type of relationship, you and a couple of people maybe, and it might not just be my fault, it might be their lack of understanding of me as well. Obviously I didn't understand myself, so I'm not saying that I'm not to blame. Obviously I'm not going to use this diagnosis as a crutch to just deflect blame, but I will try to use it as a way to learn more about myself and hopefully inspire others. So I've got my little poster on the wall which has my goal on it. Maybe I can just turn this and show you. But basically, my big... Oh, it's going to be backwards in it because I'm filming. Ah, jeez. Oh, well, don't worry about that. But essentially, it's inspire others. And it has branches coming off it which say things like OCD, depression, psychosis, but obviously autism is it's a whole different population I could now maybe get involved with. So that's good. I guess that's useful in a sense. I wouldn't say I'm happy with it. I would say I'm content with it. The diagnosis, obviously my mental health history is incredibly long. Adding in autism as well, depression, OCD, psychosis. I'm not gonna say that I'm not like. It's a tough one. I would say I am proud of it, I guess, but I'm also a little bit ashamed by it, embarrassed, but not to a degrading point. But I would rather not have it, if I'm being honest. Like it would be easier being an NPC and just being a normal person, I guess, than having all this stuff. But at the same time, Claire always says to me actually that obviously people like me will experience the lows in life extremely, but then we'll also experience the highs. So, pros and cons, positives and negatives. I am fairly happy, I guess, in life at the moment. I've got wonderful people who I coach, people in my life. I'm quite lucky in a lot of ways, but I've also worked very, very hard with coaching and studying for it and whatnot. I think in weightlifting, I think a lot of us are autistic anyway, so that kind of makes sense. And the sport suits that type of person anyway. Internally driven, not necessarily people. We're quite introverted usually. But I don't know. I guess I'm happy that we've maybe got to the bottom of this. It's been 15 plus years of struggle. My first kind of issues with mental health happened when I was about 11 to 12. So yeah, about 15 years ago. So it's been a long time of kind of suffering, and it's not just all been suffering obviously, but and I'm sure there will be more in the future as well. But hopefully this is like paved a new way, and I'll be on the road to not recovery, because that's probably the wrong word, but treatment and managing it. But yeah, I just thought I'd give this past show would be like a instruction back into what I've been doing. Basically that I've been diagnosed autistic and I've been coaching a lot, and that's it. And I don't know when I did the last one, but I've not achieved loads, I don't think, since in terms of weightlifting, but I'm fine with that. I don't really care. In terms of the coaching, it's gone pretty well. I want to keep pushing it. I'm very passionate about it. I've got some very passionate people, and I only really want to work with those people that are passionate about it. I want to ride the waves with me. But we've got some big goals for some people coming up. We've got some big goals. We've got some big lifts coming up, hopefully. Couple of Instagram's favourite people are not posting that much at the moment. We've got a couple of injuries at the moment on the team. Obviously, the part and parcel. A couple of knee problems. We've got a shoulder problem. But everyone is positive, I think, and it's looking up. Essentially, just wanted to say, I've had all this stuff happen. I'm still trying to be positive. I'm still trying to move forward. I think you can too. If anyone has any questions or queries, just let me know. Hopefully this has been helpful. I got a diagnosis. It felt very weird. I felt very lonely. Slowly I'm coming out of that hole. Otherwise, we're all good. Okay? Right. Any questions? Let us know.